Well, hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Quest for You. Yesterday's episode on silence with yourself triggered this episode on silence with others. I just kept thinking that silence truly is a tool that we can utilize to have a bigger impact in this world. So I want to start with this quote by Ansel Adams. When words become unclear, I shall focus with photographs. When images become inadequate, I shall be content with silence. I love this quote because I do also take photographs and I can very much relate to this. I've always admired the people that are quick to respond to a sudden verbal confrontation, especially a negative one. A sarcastic rebuttal or a joke or just a very good counterattack that leaves the other person in shock for a minute. My best responses come to me hours later after having thought about the interaction for a while or told a friend about it. Usually I just say something lame or defend myself. And it becomes even harder when you're trying to be kind in your response. When you really like the other person and you don't want to hurt them. When a good outcome is more important to you than winning an argument or being right. And when you want to keep the conversation at a higher level, instead of the lower one that the other person seems to be taking it. Being kind to someone who's not is challenging. It requires self-control, energy, and empathy with the other person. It takes strength to look beyond one's own needs for validation and give it to someone who doesn't even deserve it in that moment. So no, a kind response doesn't come to me quicker either. When someone attacks me, blames me, belittles me or makes fun of me, or simply says something I don't know how to respond to, I don't know what to say. So I often don't say anything. Maybe I say, okay, yes, all right, but that's about it. I choose silence. It's more of a plan B than my preferred choice, but in absence of something smart or wise or kind, silence is always a great plan B. I always feel a little stupid when I have to resort to silence. Like I'm not intelligent enough to respond. But it's only in the moment, for a few awkward seconds. Later, I become quite at peace with my silence and often realize a few remarkable characteristics about the state of silence in the presence with others. I never regret having responded with silence. Yeah, I often wish I had said one thing or another, but that's just my ego talking that wants to look good in front of others. But after that wish passes, I'm quite comfortable in my silence. I never feel guilt or regret for words spoken or the tone in my voice. The right response can wait. It doesn't make a difference when it's delivered. If it's important, you can say it at a later time. Silence allows you to choose when you speak. It buys you time to think about the proper words, those that don't hurt back, that are kind and genuine, and that help build a bridge between you and them, even if it takes you time. It's better to respond later than having to apologize for an overreaction, usually in the form of an emotional outburst accompanied by hurtful words. So often, we are put on the spot with challenging questions, poignant remarks, and aggressive attacks. And then we produce half-hearted responses because we feel obligated to react. Those kind of answers are then used against us. They are misunderstood, twisted, and dissected, when we never really had a fair start. Alexander Dumas, in The Count of Monte Cristo, said, "For all evils, there are two remedies, time and silence." It's best to buy time with silence. Let me think about it a little bit, or give me some time to mull it over. And then say nothing else until you're ready. Your thoughtful response will fall on more fertile ground because both of you had a break to think. Silence gives you control over the situation. Someone wants to steer you in a certain direction with their issues, pull you down into their abyss, change your views and force their opinion onto you, make you feel guilty and replace your good mood with a bad one. By remaining silent, you are holding the steering wheel in place. Going neither left nor right, not taking sides at all, not accepting guilt or denying it, but not going down a rabbit hole either. I like this quote by Leonardo da Vinci. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. There is authority in silence. When everyone blabbers, you hold back. When everyone shared their views and opinions, you are just listening. When someone offloads frustration onto you, you hold up a stop sign with your silence. Silence speaks clearly. I am not yet ready. With silence, you take charge. You keep your words and emotions inside, and you signal to the other person that you're unwilling to continue the diatribe. Very little can be said to a person who is silent like a wall, with nothing coming back to add fuel to their fire. They're fighting a battle by themselves, and eventually they'll give up. A battle with words and emotions is an endless back and forth that quickly goes from bad to worse. With your silence, you can take charge of the outcome of the conversation. You decide when to end it. You set the tone without saying a beep. And with your silence, you may even prompt the others to reflect on their words. Silence is presence. You are still there, physically present, listening, attentive, making eye contact, communicating with your body that you have not left them in their misery, but that you are unwilling to join them. While they are talking, you are absorbing, thinking, strategizing even. You are present in the here and now. You are steady like a rock, calm on the outside, absorbing the waves crashing into you, patiently waiting for the right time to react. Silence is safe. You are with yourself, your most trusted companion, and nobody can look inside of you. Silence guards your thoughts, your words, and your behaviors. You have all the time in the world to think clearly. Words stir the pot. Silence simply let it simmer. When I'm forced to pull out words in the heat of the moment, I feel shaky and weak, unprepared for the challenge, vulnerable and exposed, and never quite at peace with what I said, no matter how on point it was. But when I choose silence as my retort, I maintain self-respect and dignity. I keep it together. Nothing lost. Maybe a few words unspoken that should have been said, but they can wait. I feel safe. Silence doesn't mean I'm okay. Sometimes it means I'm deeply hurt, in disbelief of what I just heard or saw, disheartened and sometimes very disappointed. I may look calm, but inside I might be boiling, my veins pumping with adrenaline, my heart racing with emotions. I want to run, hide, and cry. I want to scream at the other person. How can you say such a thing? Shake them and wake them up. Can't you see that's not how things are? Just because I don't say anything doesn't mean I'm okay. I'm simply keeping it together for the sake of all involved. The Dalai Lama said, silence is sometimes the best answer. Silence is finding back to myself when the winds of human interactions blow strongly, when I don't know which way to turn to best weather the storm, afraid to stumble over and to hurt myself and others with my fall. Silence is plan B when the unexpected hits, when all the knowledge and experience I have has not prepared me for this very moment. This comment, this question, this offense, this criticism, this judgment. When my body and my brain need time to connect, to decide on the best response. That which is in line with my values, my dignity, and my personality. And that which is the best one that makes most sense given this very moment. That's when silence is the best response. Silence is a place of consulting with yourself, contemplating, centering, recharging, and coming back when ready, in line with who you are, and not with who the other person may want you to be. They don't get to decide. You decide. And for that, you may need time. So don't be afraid to be silent with others. Don't allow those standing outside your door to extinguish the fire inside your house. Much love.